Okay, yeah, that's working. Hello. Hi, everyone on YouTube. And the 3 people that have been watching us on our other videos, thank you for tuning in. So, hi, Mum. Brilliant. So we've actually got more people here than we usually do. So every week it just seems to get more and more, which is great. So obviously I'm Rob, project manager at Screen Pages. We're joined by Christina, the marketing, I wish I had a better word. I was trying to think of one. Extraordinaire, does that count?
I'll take it.
Okay, brilliant. And we have got Alex from Screen Pages as well, who is our account manager. And join us with the best shirt of the day is Colin the Tax Guy.
Hey everyone, how are we?
Amazing. Yeah, so it's just a normal chat where we go through all things that we want to go through. We try and make it a little bit more taxing for Colin.
More taxing.
It's just taking a whole different.
I make the jokes, Rob. I make the jokes.
Okay, now everyone's going to expect some really good jokes now.
We do expect some real tax-based jokes coming out, Colin.
You can just, you know what? It's your expectations, not mine. All right. So you go right ahead.
So I've actually got a couple of things planned. I've got a little 6-question contest where you 3 are going to compete against each other. Don't worry, it's not super techie questions I had to confirm earlier with you guys.
Yes.
So don't worry.
We were worried for a second.
We were worried, yes.
How many, Magento press releases do I have to read in advance?
Hey, what you mean you don't read those riveting press releases?
I mean, of course I do.
There you go.
What do you mean?
There you go. Set up, you knock it right down. There you go, buddy. All day long. No, I know that binary is made up of 0 and 1s. Give me the prize.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah.
No, nothing. No.
Can get a
Yeah,
point.
that's true. But everyone knew that, surely.
I did.
Get nods around. Alex, just say yes, you knew it.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
To be fair, I haven't gone that techy at all, and I've not gone down Magento path. It's just a couple of questions.
Wire away, Captain. I'm ready.
Are you ready?
For you. I'm ready.
So what I'm going to go around. So number 1, there's going to be a prize at the end of this, but I just haven't worked out what it is yet.
Wait, pause. How do we answer? How do you know who answers first, or do you ask us individually?
How about you shout? Yeah.
Yeah, just shout. I want to hear the best buzzer sound.
Don't you want to be?
But if you don't get it right, and everyone can get a guess before I sort of tell the answer as well.
Okay, fair enough. Let's go.
So it's fine. Okay, what country has the largest market for e-commerce?
China.
Okay, I got one for China.
United States.
United States.
India. US.
Ooh. Try to be different.
You're going for US.
Should have just committed.
I'm trying to think. That's the face when I get something wrong.
Okay.
US.
So you're sticking with US and not India. Are you sure you don't want to go with India?
Although India's actually quite a good shout.
Fine, India.
Okay.
Cool. Oh, it's China.
Bollocks.
Sorry,
By how much?
Well, that's actually another question.
What? Damn it. All right.
So bonus point here, if you can tell me in dollars, because everything's in dollars, how much that yearly value is worth.
$500 billion. Sorry, $500 billion.
$500 billion. Okay.
3.5 trillion.
3.5 trillion.
No way. There was only 2 trillion in e-commerce that took place. No.
Numbers are just numbers. I mean, it's just it gets bigger and bigger forever.
3.1, very specific.
Okay, Christina, you're going to go. We've got $500 billion and 3.1 trillion.
Yes. I'm gonna say.
It's a big number.
Cool. You have to drag it out. Are you counting?
I don't know. I have no idea. I'm gonna say $500 billion.
Okay. It's the worst cop out ever.
Who invited Christina to play?
Hey, technical. I don't know this.
What's the answer? Come on.
Okay,
What
it
is
is $672 billion.
Oh, it's
Yes!
winner.
So,
Okay.
yeah,
Half a trillion and one. I win that one.
yeah, fair play. I'm keeping score here as well. So I'll give this. You
I'm
guys.
just here to make you all look better, aren't I?
No, it's the participation that counts, Christina.
It is.
You know.
For the
Your parents lied to you, Alex. That's what happened.
Okay, so with the top three for that are actually China, then the US, and then third place is United Kingdom. Boom. Bronze medal, I'm counting it. Can you tell me what United Kingdom's value is in third place?
50 billion.
50 billion, okay.
Nah.
No more than that. I'm going to go with 175 billion.
I was going to go 250 billion.
Okay, it's 99 billion.
Oh, we're well out.
We are. No,
That's
but Christina got that one.
bigger China is doing online than it is in the UK at the moment. Sitting in the middle of that is the US with 340 billion.
Wow.
So, yeah, massive things. Cool. So then this is like the last money kind of question. So by the year 2021, so next year, it is believed that retail commerce sales will reach what value?
Retail commerce sales in dollars or in pounds?
Dollars.
That's a tough one.
Silent.
I'm gonna go with 3 trillion.
3 trillion?
5
trillion? Okay, Alex.
trillion.
I think it was this year. I think it was 2.08 that was done on marketplaces, on the top 100 marketplaces around the world.
Why are
So
let him answer first.
2.9.
2.9 is actually expected to be 4.9 trillion now.
That's a lot of money.
That's Christina that gets that one though.
what? No.
I said
Right.
5.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. It's a winner.
I think that's fair enough, which will be great, so we can build lots more websites. That's the aim.
That's crazy though, isn't it?
That's a lot of money.
So yeah, we'll say we're at the halfway point, and it's getting serious. So the points, Christina, you've got 2, and then it doesn't matter about everyone else, does it? I'm not going to go through everyone.
I thought she's just there to make us look good. What are you doing actually winning,
Yeah, what are you doing,
Christina?
Christina?
Try harder, get prettier.
That's rude to say to Alex, okay? You know, some people aren't born with your bone structure.
No, it's true. I've got to bleach my hair and wear a fancy shirt. I'm sorry.
Don't make questionable choices, Alex. Stay on the side of the angels, okay?
The
Don't do
coronavirus
this.
problem hasn't quite hit me yet.
Corona made me do it.
The next 2 questions are actually I'm going to do different order because the last 2 I think are my favourite. So a little bit techie question here. So which country has the internet domain extension .zw?
Zimbabwe.
Yeah, fair enough. That's clearly way too easy.
That's so. What other
A
country?
point for everyone.
I couldn't actually think of any other countries with those 2 letters in.
That's why it's easy.
I was just thinking that. Okay, forget that round. Everyone gets a point. We're all winners. So the last 2 are tax related.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're slightly different. So, how many years ago was the first known use of tax?
Do you want to know what country invented it as well?
Potentially, I think I know the answer.
Well, are you talking about like tax, as in like 2,500 years ago, where the Romans used to go and take tax? Or are you talking about like sales and transactional?
3000 BC in Egypt.
So I'm talking about the first form of taxation. So where people pay a certain amount of something for add-on for value.
I'm going to go for 3,000 BC.
Yeah.
So they're both 3,000 BC.
Pause.
Oh, mine's 1,000 BC.
Okay,
But
1,000.
like contribution that's given to a government?
No, it's a form of taxation. But it depends what you establish as a
Oh,
government.
it's maybe
And we
it's like
don't get into
20,000.
that conversation.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know. There's going to be like some
tax
stones piled
A
up
tax
some
to
cave somewhere.
to an authority that's in charge of the area.
Okay.
What do you think, Christina?
So you both said 3,000 years ago, right?
So Colin said
Colin said
1,000 BC, so that's 3,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Alex said 3,000 BC, so
3,000.
that's 5,000 years ago.
Could be
So
much
you've got-
longer.
3,000 or 5,000.
Yeah, like my inclination is to say something like when the first human being existed or something, like we've probably been paying taxes.
first one.
First man.
First one, then taxed everyone else after.
Adam had to give easy thing.
I bet he was popular in the caves, wasn't he?
Wait, do I say how many years? Or
Yeah.
can I say an age?
How many years ago?
Oh, I don't know when. I want to say like the Bronze Age. I don't know how long ago that was.
Also, the Bronze Age.
That's like, yeah, that's like, I don't actually know for a fact. It was like 1,300 years ago.
What? That was ages ago. That was like 6,000. I don't even know when. I have no idea.
This is an alloy.
Are you gonna guess?
Us
It's
wonder.
8,000 years.
Guess
Haven't
something.
existed.
All right, fine. Okay, I'm gonna say 3,000 years ago.
Okay.
Right.
It was 5,000 years ago.
Oh,
And it was
done, Alex.
Sumer, which is Mesopotamia.
Well
Where
done.
is that now?
So that is the Middle
Iran.
East now,
Iran.
ancient Mesopotamia, because it's the most fertile lands at the point 5,000 years ago. And it was actually recorded on clay cones, and it was paid for with livestock.
Right.
So someone was
To be fair, that is how I pay my taxes, to be fair. So.
I owed 3 goats on this paycheck.
It's quite impressive. Okay, so the last question of this thrilling episode. So it's also another tax-related question. We've
Why?
got Alex and Christina both with 3 points, Colin with 2. So if you all draw, happy days. But
Okay.
Alex, Christina, you can win this. So in 2011, Romania added an unusual profession to the country's labour code to make it taxable. What was the profession? You can read the question again if you
Construction. It was construction workers.
want. Can we read the question again?
Never thought about taxing them before.
Before 2011.
Read it again.
Okay, so in 2011, Romania added an unusual profession to the country's labour code to make it taxable. What was that profession?
Influencer, social media influencer. I'm going to go
Social
with that.
media influencer, okay.
Unusual profession, eh?
Yes.
I'm gonna go for horse whisperer. Actually,
Horse whisperer, okay.
that's right.
It's a good profession.
Okay, both of those are wrong, so I'm gonna try and find what it is.
Well, like Googling it. Like,
Whoa,
I feel like
whoa! Now we know why she
Wow.
takes so long. Referee. Oh, there's coffee in that.
Stop distracting me. I need to think. So, unusual profession that was made taxable.
I'm going to have to rush it here. I need to start playing the Oscar, like, wrap it up.
Yeah.
My lord. Okay.
Prime Minister.
Oh my goodness.
Are you struggling to think of any jobs right now?
No, I know. I keep thinking of one, but I'm pretty sure it's not an unusual job and it's been taxed in other countries.
Okay. Well, say that, because this can't be that fun for the audience.
No.
Okay, fine. Sorry, everyone in the audience.
You mean us watching it back? Right?
Yes, just us on repeat.
Where you go for, Christina?
Circus performer.
Circus performer. Okay. The profession was witchcraft.
Oh!
Okay.
Amazing.
Horse is brilliant.
That
Is the closest.
No. I think you guys won that one. Well done.
I think we all
Witchcraft
lose.
a job.
Can you find out?
You need to ask us another question. We need to break the tie. Someone has to win.
Can you find out how much?
Okay. No. I'll do it. I'll break it with a tax related question. All right. And you each have 10 seconds to answer this, right? 10 seconds. So I'm going to count down right here. Okay. How many different taxing jurisdictions are there in the United States?
2,500.
12,500.
Christina, yes.
That's someone's read up the Avalon.
Someone's listened to. Oh dear. Uh-oh. Yeah, I know.
On our partners, so I know things.
Well done, Christina, and thanks for that, Rob.
I know you've all did very well. It was very random questions, but I thought it's something a bit different.
How much do people studying or practicing witchcraft, how much tax do they have to pay? I'm asking for a friend.
In Romania.
Well, think about how much they have to claim back.
Yes.
Eyes of newts, chicken feet, cauldrons. That's a workplace necessity. They can claim back on that.
That's true. I mean, yeah, you have to factor in deductibles.
But no, it's all good. I also read something earlier. I've been doing some fun reading about tax the last couple of nights because I'm super cool. And apparently in America, you can declare unspecified funds. So if you do a crime and you steal money, but you still want to pay tax on it, there is a area on your tax form that you can, don't give any details, but you can say how much money you've got and then pay tax on it.
That is definitely the trick question in US tax.
Very interesting.
Yeah, no. The Americans do things a little bit differently, don't they? Speaking from experience, and they remember they like to have everything of civil liberties, right? So they want to ensure that their rights and the local government and the local area around's rights are kept away from the big bad wolf who sits in the White House, right? And the federal tentacles of the federal government. Right. So that's why there's so many sales tax jurisdictions, because each individual jurisdiction wants to have control over how they, tax money and how what they do with those funds and what products they go into. So that's why the U.S. you'll always hear, don't tread on me and don't take my guns, out of my cold dead hands. It's the same kind of concept.
Same thing, but with tax. Don't take my tax.
Don't take my tax. You're right. Absolutely.
It's funny, the other side though. So we're working with some companies in the Middle East at the moment, and I've been working closely with one of them, and we're talking about setting up tax rules and rates. And me being a person in Europe and in England, I was like, oh, that's fine. We can set them as 0 rates, and these are the rules that you do. And the client just turned around and said, no. Just remove any reference of tax at all. And I was like, really? He's like, we don't want the word tax on our website. And I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, because we just don't have it here at all. It'll just confuse people. And I'm like, wow. So we've had to remove any reference to the word tax off the website because they're like, yeah, it's just taking up space of what we can do.
Oh, goodness.
So, different world.
Yeah.
But what is it called? Out of curiosity over there.
Nothing. They literally don't have it.
Just don't reference
nothing.
They have introduced the GCC or the Gulf Corporation have included now a form of VAT. So it's at a flat rate of 5%. So it's currently in Saudi Arabia as well as the UAE, and Oman's going to be getting it soon. They're all just spreading out because they've realized that it's not fiscally responsible to have oil revenue as its only source of income. So they started to start charging things on it. And as well as that, something funny, when it comes to, I'll go to something else later, but in Saudi Arabia, they have got about 40% of their population is under the age of 30. So it's like a huge booming population, and there's not enough social welfare to do it because it's all coming out of one pocket. So they're trying to bring more people in to be able to pay for all these kind of amenities. So yeah, crazy.
Well, it makes sense though, to be fair. They lasted a long while using oil revenue as their primary source of income. That's a long time to have ridden that train. So it was always going to be, at some point, it was always going to be inevitability.
But Dubai did that like 15 years ago when they started investing in tourism, essentially.
Yeah, which is the best way to do it. Because I know loads of teachers that have gone over and worked there because they've got a big need for teachers. So, they're loving life. They've got fantastic views, amazing apartments in very cool cities.
Yeah.
Teaching.
Yeah.
And I assume better kids. Like.
Well, you would hope so. I went to international school from the age of 5 until I graduated. So I can tell you that no, we're not much better. We're just better spoken. That's all.
Like.
We're still awful. We're still awful. You know. There's no difference there.
Amazing.
Oh,
quite cool indeed. Brilliant. So, is there any other topics that people want to bring up? We have got the tax man here. Not that no, we've got the tax guy. The tax man's a whole different. We've got the tax guy here.
Tax man could do one. I'm not buying him a pint. The tax guy, on the other hand, next round's on me, big guy. You know. Well, I'll tell you what's interesting. I'll give you a philosophy. I'll peer into my crystal ball for you here real quick. And the topic on everybody's minds is, of course, what is COVID-19 going to be doing to retail versus brick and mortar? Is there going to be expendable income? Are consumer habits going to repeat themselves afterwards? Is it just going to be like a blip? Well, the answer is maybe, and we're all screwed because we're going to be in a deep recession. Currently, the furlough scheme is holding up a copious amount of what we would call our Office of National Statistics and saying that, okay, yeah, even though we're not working, we're still above board. When that furlough scheme ends in October, what we're going to see is, I suspect, a massive slide and a whole load of layoffs. And what it's going to do is it's going to force the government to go, okay, all of a sudden we've got even more expenditure that's associated with COVID. What's the easiest way that I can think of to get more income more quickly? Well, it's the lowest hanging fruit, right? And that's transactional taxes, VAT, sales tax, landed costs of moving goods into customs and import taxes. And they're going to raise them, and they're going to make it even more stringent, the way that you are able to file these returns and actually report on this transactional information. Because tax is like politics, right? It's fluid, right? And politics is flowing one way and tax is going to flow the other. So what we're going to see here is all organizations across the world are going to have an additional microscope over every single one of their sales, and legislation is going to be passed to give those rules a real bite, a real consequence. So yeah, it's I know no one wants to think about it. You know, it's like death and taxes.
No, but it's going to happen at some point because the numbers just can't keep stacking up the way that they are at the moment.
No.
The States has got the same problem I've heard. I think theirs ends in July, if I'm not mistaken. Their support packages end in July. So, yeah, they're expecting a cliff edge. Actually, it'd be quite interesting to see what happens over there because it probably similar would happen over here.
Yeah, absolutely, because we're also interconnected at the moment, isn't it? I mean, have you guys heard anything about like the death of globalization?
Not at all.
Not the death of globalization, but I know a lot of questions have been raised, and it's become an interesting industry to kind of work in at the moment.
Because I mean, are you guys, obviously, you know, your client base is wide and varied. We're working with a couple of them at the moment. Very glad to be doing so. But are you finding that the projects, your customers who are doing international projects have postponed it? Or have you found that some of them actually cancel them altogether?
Actually, from clients, I found the opposite. So it's because there's been some products that either can't be sourced in the local area, so they have to be pretty much purchased from the UK. I can't name the client, but
of course,
basically, they're going to be expanding even quicker into the States. So they kind of they're pretty much jumping on the opportunity to spread the name pretty much as they can, because the alternative products that were pretty much their main barrier to entry in the States are now pretty much regulated against. So because they've got a product that the consumers can use, and their local competitors over there can't put their products out and be used by the consumers, it's an opportunity for them to expand. So I think it really depends. I think because it's going to be a changing world. I think there's going to be different opportunities for each company within different territories, and maybe ones they didn't think that they could expand in before. So I think it'll be a case of just you have to keep an eye on the pulse, as it were, see what everyone is doing around the world, and then jump at it whenever you can, because it'll be changing all the time. I mean, the laws, the regulations, everything's going to be changing pretty much constantly for the next couple of years, effectively until we get a vaccine of some sort of. It's been a bit of a. It's not really been like a drop off that nobody wants to do it. I think the questions are probably raised on how do we do it right, or is it better, to be fair, just waiting until later?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, thanks, guys. I think that might be the most serious conversation we've ever had on this little show.
I love how
telling inappropriate jokes like as soon as possible. No, yeah, that's brilliant. I have seen it's actually already been 25 minutes on this, so we'll have to wrap it up. But yeah, great conversation. Colin the Tax Guy, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, brilliant. We will end the recording there. Everyone else who's still on the call for us, like, you can stay and we can still talk.
Oh, do the one person who might still be watching this by this point, the episode of Sarah speaking with Colin is also now live, so you can watch that and find out more about tax and Avalara.
Ah, awesome. Yeah.
I've never had someone plug me before. So, Christina, I'm glad you're the first person to plug me.
Just Colin plugging himself.
And we waited.
We waited right to the end, didn't we? Right to the end.
Right. All right. Thanks, guys.
All right, guys. See you guys.